Hey everybody, it's free-to-play Buster kicking off expedition number 197. Let's see what we get here. Cool. I've been hoping for Misfortune to show up here. I've been playing a bit of Misfortune in the old Constructed, and kind of wanted to revisit this in Expedition. Probably just, I mean, uh, as far as like these picks go, Yasuo is clearly the worst. This pool's it's not garbage. It's just Yasuo is lacking a few tools to just be an actual build around, and so I'm not a huge fan of this pool. It's fun to pair it with like I don't know, like Zed or Karma. Oh, damn it. Well, I guess we're gonna play Yasuo. That's the one I just misclicked on there. Man, I was wanting to play Misfortune too. But all right, let me take a moment and get this pulled up on the site. Okay, so if you're not familiar, the site is ftpbus.com. That's where I keep all my tier lists, the collection of all my YouTube videos. The set reviews come out after the new cards are released, but here we're going to be clicking over on the Expedition Helper. You should be able to scroll down to the champion and then to the card pool you're looking at. So here we have Yasuo and Disruption, and it'll just list all of the card pools within this pool. The cards that if you're building around this pool, what I think works well and does not work well, and then along with a 3-minute guide on how to get this pool going. But apparently, we're talking about Yasuo here. I was intending on taking Misfortune. I was gonna give a little aside that. Whatever that champion was on the left, I don't even remember what it was, but it was also a strong choice. Yasuo being the worst of these, but sometimes you just misclick and this is where you land. And so anyways, kind of the idea with the disruption Yasuo here is if you're trying to just truly build around this, you're generally doing it with the stuns, and that's what makes things like concussive palm so extremely important. There are some kind of side stuns if you're wanting to look at things like Yone. You'll want one or two of them. Dragon's Rage, if you find it, that's great. Minah is also great if you can find her, but in general, your big stun is going to be Concussive Palm, and then you're going to look to pair this with Noxus so that you get access to Stun Spider and you can get access to Intimidating Roar. Uh, if that's not really going for you, you can go more along the lines of the recall route. If you try to pair this up with, say, Karma, you can try to return things with conspirators. I don't think that is too strong of a strategy. If you're not going for the stuns, I recommend that you just try to go for elusives, because some of these cards are just pretty bad. You don't want to be playing Steel Tempest. It's just it's not that great of a card. It's not unplayable, or what I define as unplayable, but it is pretty bad. It's just it's so situational. It often doesn't feel worth a card when you play it. And so, if you're going the stun route, look for concussive palms. Otherwise, I do really like the Navori Blade Scout, Conspirator, Shadow Assassin. You got to find Green Glade Duo somewhere else, but all of the other elusives that you're looking for live here. And so you can also try to pair this up with Leona. But every time we just end up in Leona, I just want to build around Leona, right? It's very rare that I want to have 3 Yasuos in our deck and 1 Leona, and then it's kind of awkward in Expedition because we don't really want 2 and 2. We want 3 of one champion and 1 of the other, and so you either have to kind of dilute the quality of your build arounds to get the enablers in there, or just accept that Targon doesn't have any stuns or recalls in it. But we're in here in Yasuo. We'll see if we'll build around or try to support with him. And I did at least get an interesting set of cards shown up here. Moderately interested in Ezreal, since he does play extremely well with things like Concussive Palm. There's just not a lot of targeting within Yasuo here, which is unfortunate. There's Whimsy, there's Will of Ionia, Concussive Palm, and that's going to do it. I guess you can count Steel Tempest. Yone is actually pretty decent at doing Ezreal things. Yone's pretty good with both of those, right? Gives you 2 targets for Ezreal, 2 stuns for Yasuo. And so that's kind of interesting. And so I kind of have like in my head that, if we're wanting to build to Yasuo, we're going to want to be in Noxus. And then if we're going to build towards Ezreal, we kind of want to be in Noxus, right? If we can pick up things like Stun Spider. that is the big one, like Whirling Death being okay. I'm just kind of interested if we can put together this kind of 3-color deck between Ezreal, Yasuo, and then we can't pick right from the beginning if we want to be building around Ezreal or rebuilding around Yasuo. I think that'll kind of depend on how the cards fall, mainly if we're just stacked up on removal out of P and Z, or if we're stacked up on the actual stuns, or if we just have targets, just how things fall. It's not really guaranteed, what we're going to run into. So I think this is going to be kind of okay. There is a reasonable argument to just take Draven. Scrap Heap Draven is a pretty powerful card pool. This is a reasonable set of cards to start with. Brothers Bond does play pretty well with Yasuo. It plays well with the elusives. This is a pretty reasonable card pool, but I have been wanting to investigate Ezreal since he's been boosted up to this. He takes 6 targets now, but only his targeted spells do 2 damage. Regular spells just deal 1 damage. And so the last time we played Ezreal, he was super easy to flip, and so I'm kind of interested in seeing how this pans out. The big thing to call out is if we want to pick up Noxus, we're going to have to find it in the first 4 picks. If you're not familiar with how expeditions work, you can have a maximum of 3 factions, and then you have to be locked into those factions by the end of the 6th pick. So if we are Ionia Noxus at the end of pick 6, we'll only see Ionia Noxus for the remainder of the run. But if we do pick up a 3rd faction, before our 7th pick, then all 3 factions will show up for the remainder of the run. But I think I'm cool with just taking this Ezreal. Let me switch over here. We could talk about him for just a moment. Ezreal Death's Door. And so this is, kind of an Ezreal build around. We typically just look at it as being a good a good supporting card pool, since it has Gotcha, it has Mystic Shot, has Static Shock, Thermogenic Beam, has basically all of the P and Z removal spells except for Get Excited, and for whatever fucking reason it doesn't have a True Shot Barrage in it. why Ezreal's ultimate spell doesn't live in this card pool is beyond me, but I think they took it out for the Trobeam and Probulator just to piss me off even more. But I'm pretty sure that's a weird little thing here. But nonetheless, the way we typically look at this PNZ stuff is there's just a whole bunch of removal in here. There's Eager Apprentice, which is a great early game play, and then we try to look for some of that unlicensed innovation to kind of just stall the early game with all the spell mana we've built up. But as far as this goes, it doesn't have a whole lot of targets, and so that is a little bit unfortunate. It doesn't have any stuns, so it doesn't play towards Yasuo. And that's why I was kind of saying, we're going to have to kind of see how the cards fall. If we're just picking up a whole bunch of removal spells, then we can draft towards Ezreal. If we're starting to pick up a whole bunch of stuns, we can draft towards Yasuo. But there are cards that we want that play pretty well with both themes. If we like Concussive Palm levels up both champions, Stun Spider levels up both champions, we could perhaps even try to find Freylord if it looks like we're really looking to build towards Ezreal. But Stun Spider's the one I'm thinking a whole lot of. So let's see. We're going down this path. Let's see how it happens. It looks like the removal spells are the ones that are wanting to show up here. So I think we're cool to take the Improbulator and the Gotcha. Not these Yasuo cards over here are okay, but I just don't see how we get like this elusives deck together. In my opinion, there's kind of like two flavors of elusives. There's Greenglade Duo elusives, and then there's Jeweled Protector elusives, where you're trying to just boost up things like it's typically with Zed, but you're trying to boost up Zed, and you're trying to boost up the 2/2 lifesteal elusive, and Yasuo doesn't have access to any of those, so it's a little bit awkward in that sense. But I think we're good to take the Probulator and the Gotcha, even though 3-cost cards are kind of awkward to find in this card pool. Okay, well, here's a Concussive Palm along with Claws of the Dragon. We're not in Lee Sin, but we shouldn't have too much trouble playing 2 spells in the same turn if we want. And then as far as these goes, we don't really want to dive into Shadow Isles, and Sown Seeds is pretty terrible. Twin Disciplines is, of course, a high-quality spell, but I think the Concussive Palm is the big one we're looking for here. Okay, immediately saw Mystic Shot. And then the Golden Crushbot isn't horrible in this deck. This is by no means going to be an aggressive deck, and he's pretty good at stalling up the board. Otherwise, these cards aren't that great. I'm not super interested in Emerald Awakener here. Plaza Guardian will come across, we don't really want, but it'll make an appearance at some point. It looks like we're kind of pushing towards Ezreal, so this Jolt Protector is not super important, and we'll see about Will of Ionia. I kind of feel like we're going to be building towards Ezreal, but if we want a Will of Ionia, we tend to be able to find those at some point later. Okay, well, I guess, Minah targets 3 things. That's a quick way to get your Ezreal flipped, right? She's too strong to pass up, especially when we're looking to be on the slower, control-y side of things. Just all around pretty fantastic unit. Okay. Interesting. We can't just completely forget our early game, but I think we do need to go ahead and we can go ahead and pick up the Static Shock and the Gotcha. I don't want to pick... Will of Ionia is just fairly weak now that it costs 5 mana, and so I don't really want to stack up a bunch of these, especially since it looks like we're going to be building towards Ezreal. So at least pick some removal spells. See, like the 2-drop down here, but it's just a little weak for my tastes. Okay, interesting. Well, I guess we're going to just take a second Concussive Palm. The Greenglade Elder is not going to be particularly good in our deck, but we're certainly not a Swell Squirrel deck. We can't protect a River Shaper with any of the cards we have. I'm kind of interested in Rummage, but both of these cards really want us to be playing Puff Caps. We're not doing any of that. Okay, well, I mean, there is this kind of Puff Caps, but that's not what I meant. This is what we're going to be taking, though. Out of all of these cards, I'm most interested in the Eager Apprentice. Just giving us something to come down, interact in the early game, and build up some spell mana. It's just a pretty good deal for us. Okay. Interesting. You see Rush, and it's like I know we're never going to get in a combat where we can play Rush. We can. It's just extremely hard to do. But realistically, the only combating we're going to be doing is with Ezreal or with Yasuo. And Yasuo already has quick attack, so it's not a huge add for him. I think we just want to take the innovation and the assembly. The assembly being reasonable at stalling the game, and then the innovation is our big combo with the apprentice. We do need a bit of top end as well. We do have Minah, but I'd like to have just a little bit more. Okay, all right. Well, we're getting a Mystic Shot here, and then it just comes down to we want the Sump Dredger or the Peddler. Probably just want to go ahead and take the Peddler. The cycling is still an extremely powerful ability, but I think we're probably going to need to get this chip damage in with these Peddlers. Okay. Don't think we want to be playing Conspirators. We don't have any real value plays out of it outside of our Greenglade Elder and our Inspired... I thought we don't even have an Inspired Mentor. You can, of course, say Shadow Assassin, but this is not... it's just so slow. So I don't really want these Conspirators. I was really just eyeballing the Scaled Snapper. Just another way for us to stall out the early game. Then the Spirit's Refuge is a reasonable trick to have. Okay, we have to take the beam. I was thinking of mentioning the beam whenever we were taking the Will of Ionias and passing on Whimsy. I just thought, maybe the opportunity would arise where it just shows up, and we have to have one of these. We'll play 2 or 3 of them if we get them, but this is just our way to deal with any unit, along with another Crushbot who's going to be fine. Okay. Here, we want more Eager Apprentices, and the Flash of Brilliance is much stronger than Trail of Evidence, so we'll go ahead and take this one. Okay, and we're never trading out our innovation. I don't really want these Conspirators, so our only choice here would be the Peddler for the Crushbot, and I'm pretty sure I'm okay with that. Having 3 Peddlers is actually a pretty good number. We should be able to close out the games with these if things don't go right with our champions, and then I really just want kind of 2 of this effect, and so 1 Crushbot and 1 Scaled Snapper is enough. We have 2 Crushbots as it is. Let's go ahead and make this swap. Okay. All right. Well, we intended to be playing with Misfortune, but so sometimes you just make the misclicks. You do. Oh god. The kitty is freaking out. I don't know if you can hear him. There must be a bug back there. It's the highlight of the kitty's day. My pets just aren't good enough. It's just gotta go after the bugs. All right, what's happening here, Riot? There we go. Okay, Draven Shyvana. Alright, we don't want Flash of Brilliance, it's just too expensive. We can probably get rid of the Peddler as well. I'll hang on to the Innovation. Even if we don't have, what's he called, an Eager Apprentice, we can still play it on the third turn. Uh-oh, here comes the aggression. That's not as bad as I thought. Sure. So we can't play anything here. Well, I mean, we can play the Claws of the Dragon, but we're not going to. Trying to think, if, like with our next turn, if we want to just play the Innovation or if we want to try to get Ezreal going. With the way his board stands, I think we want to get Ezreal going. We do that, we can't Claws of the Dragon next turn. I think this is okay. Go ahead and just get this unit off the board.
The world's a big place.
And then if he plays like a Draven or something, then we can choose to just not attack. You got all the stun spiders. that's what we were looking for.
Who's ready to wreck it?
Just nope. And then we're not going to be able to burst down this Claws of the Dragon, which is a bit unfortunate. But I think we're still going to be okay here.
What a specimen!
Skill and grace to tear your breath away.
Okay, reasonable enough. At least get this dude down. I'd like to just end this turn banking 3 mana, but we might end up having to play a Crush Bot or something. It's not the end of the world if we do.
I don't miss.
Let's keep this back to block with. Well, we can actually just put a Crush Bot in front of this should we want to. If we can go ahead and take down his Fearsome, I think it's okay. Right, it's not like the ideal line to pop this with a Mystic Shot and then play Crush Bot, but it's not the end of the world. Oh, that's great for us. The longer I started to think about this, the less and less I liked attacking with the Claws of the Dragon.
Way.
Sure.
Heard there was a little fella asking for me.
Okay, there's a lot of potential for this turn to go wrong, but we should at least get to take down one of these 2 cards. And we'll just, as it stands, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. He's, probably going to win one of these combats, but he's not going to win 2 of them. Okay, that's fine.
Fallen petal.
It's not guaranteed to be the case, but I do like to think our top end is probably better than his. We just have to open. Not gonna. It's just too easy for him to play actual any unit in the game for us to try to get in with the Shadow Assassin.
Time for the main event.
Silent as death.
You even scared of this Draven? Not a whole lot. I think we'll find a better target for this. Or we'll just draw Gotcha.
Come on. smell something.
I'm gonna try to get this off the board because I do want to try to get in with a 5-attack Scaled Snapper. So I want to break this Divine Shield. I want to put Golden Crush Bot in front of this thing if it attacks again, and then see if we can go from there. We'll have to assume he's probably not going to attack with us at this point, but okay. So I think we've decided on it. We're going to have to be an Ezreal deck. We don't have enough stuns. We didn't find the Noxus pairing to get access to those, and so we just have to lean on Ezreal at this point. This is a pretty reasonable Ezreal with a second beam. I don't like having a whole bunch of static shocks, but it does at least play to Ezreal a little bit, getting the 2 targets in. Okay. Oh, the champions. Darius, Gangplank, Swain, sure. It's a lot of top end for us to deal with. We'll have to kind of conserve our beams if that's what this comes down to. Okay. How much value are we going to get out of this Greenglade Elder? Oh man, dude's already playing aggressive cards. Come on.
Ready, aim.
Okay. Pretty okay to just keep passing.
Without me.
We're gonna have to add cards, aren't we? I mean, I was kind of say I'm kind of cool with just playing Greenglade Elder, but might be okay. Come on, let's be greedy.
Tales of our past are seeds for our future.
Because I think, like, choosing this path, we're going to have to beam something, even if it's just Jagged Butcher. I think that's okay. I know I said from the beginning that our big plan was going to be saving these beams for Darius and Swain, but I think we're in a pretty good spot to start taking over this board. Like, he has to open. We're not taking a huge hit from his open, and then we do have some pretty big dudes for him to deal with. Like, if he doesn't open on us, he's just gonna have to deal with the Crush Bot. That's pretty tough for Noxus Bilgewater to do on 4 mana.
Set bubbles to ground. I've got us covered.
Okay.
I will teach you.
Let's just do our best to not die here. What are these looking at? 2 on Gangplank, 2 on Swain, sure. What you got, Petty Officer? Sure. Oh. The most tilting of units for him in this case. Yeah, no, buddy.
I thought you'd never ask.
Okay. Got a lot of good targets for this Ezreal here.
Carve a path.
Even not like opposed to blocking with him next turn.
I'm in.
Fight me, you flaring lump. You barnacle.
Okay. This is fine. That's not fine. But sure. I mean, we can double static shock next turn. As it stands, we should only be taking 2 damage from the crack shot Corsair. If that's the path we want to take, right? We can put the crush bot here. Okay, we just deal with this whole team. He has another Whirling Death. It could be unfortunate. Might is the card that would be the big one, causing us problems. But look at this. Oh man, we got 2 cards for the Improbulator. Man, we got a Flash of Brilliance. Man, we got 3. Look at that. I'm learning to count and shit today. We got 3 cards that cost 3 mana to go with this guy. All right. All right.
There's plenty of killing there.
It's the simple things in life, guys.
Fear the power you do not see.
Okay. How do we want to go about this? I'm really just planning on Concussive Palming this Swain next turn. Let's start with this. I'd rather no. We're just going to be playing 2/3 drops, right? Or I guess let's do this. Let's snapper. Okay, this is easy enough. We'll just play these 2. Bank 2.
I will play my part.
And the champions, come on, bro. Got all the tools today. Sure.
Power.
His attacks don't look that great, though.
Hang them by their entrails.
Okay, well, let's start with Flash and see what that brings up.
I've got us covered.
Is that a singular will? Interesting. I think we want to do this. The Concussive Palm here. How much damage does this do? Up to 4?
It's too late for you.
Okay, let's see how this goes. Shouldn't really be any combat tricks that can matter here.
Nothing
Sure.
but the stink of blood.
Dude's Infinite Jagged Butcher attack. And monkey business, okay. That Gangplank's gonna be a problem. I mean, we can go ahead and bounce him. He's gonna flip in hand, though. I don't think we're super worried about that. I mean, the big problem with Gangplank is he hits us with that AoE. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and kill off his Swain. We could try to pull off a Minah next turn, but what tends to happen with Minah is we get in these spots to where we try to play them on our opponent's turn and then get in a big open attack. And the big thing that we're kind of like considering here is if we're going to get the chance to Concussive Palm as Gangplank, before he gets to attack. That's huge. I don't think we're going to get to do that, but so I think we need to just get on board a little bit more.
I was just casually standing. Stop
Still draw
wiggling.
cards off of this. I can't. This is like one of these things with Magic where I can't remember how like there's like weird shit where like clones come into play and others don't, so it doesn't copy.
I'll hunt them where they breed.
Sure.
They cannot hide.
This could be okay. It seems like he's probably going to try to open on us with Razor Scale Hunter, and then we can do stuff.
Bilgewater is mine and mine alone. Barrel.
That's actually a pretty big draw. So if assuming that this is when he attacks, right? No, he's have attack deal 2 to all enemies. Yeah, so assuming that he takes the scout attack, we can Mystic Shot this and then stun his Gangplank, and that leaves us in a pretty good spot.
Hang them by their entrails.
Captain's orders. Bullet to the face.
Just him. Interesting. Is he gonna have a? He can't have like he could have that, like the Fizz card, but I mean, sure. I don't understand. How does this work? If we bounce 3, he can replay 2. We assume he's going to play Gangplank in this thing, so he's just going to be down a unit. Hit with Minah, we can Mystic Shot this, and be Gangplank and a thing back. That doesn't seem too exciting. I think this is kind of where we're at, though. We got to get the
Feet were
big
made
units
for
on board.
roaming and kicking. I've got 3 warnings for you.
He replays Butcher and Gangplank, and he can block this, We're only repping 5. Ugh. This is not good. We should have attacked. We should have. Our big mistake this game was going after his Swain instead of his Gangplank.
Sharp as my spear.
Okay. What we got here? Something good. Something good. I think we'd still have to hang on to Concussive Palm. You can just, well, he can't just kill us with Gangplank next turn, but it's pretty close. Sure. So what's his deal here? He's gonna try to, he's gonna play Gangplank after combat to make the powder keg, and then just try to attack kill us. There's nothing we can do about that. Other than just pass. I think we're stuck just passing. Okay. How close do we just get to winning this game now that we picked up Yasuo with Singular Will? Right?
Dangerous out here, kid.
I can handle
Oh shit!
myself.
Well, now we have to concuss. We're fucked. I shouldn't have played Yasuo. I thought I had. I forgot that we lost the means to deal with the Slippery Wave Rider. We just messed this up here. We should have just passed, let him play Gangplank, and then. Well, yeah, man, even that sounds horrible.
Nothing but Noxian might!
Okay. Andy hit. Yeah, I don't.
Happy to do whatever's needed.
Don't think we can do anything about this one. We can stun this Gangplank out. We're gonna lose our palm as well. What? What are you doing? Okay.
No one is promised tomorrow.
All right. Well, I don't understand what just happened there, but. Okay, so what happens if we open on this guy? We drop blocks our 3 bigs. He's only looking to take 4, but we just have to get in.
Frog! Did that sound right?
Run him down!
Relax and strike.
None of his stuff can deal with our quick attackers, so he's just going to block him with these, but
Who's that you got there?
hopefully getting in a spot to where
Join the drowned.
we can just try to play a Singular Will and win that way.
Get ready, girl.
The unfortunateness here is like we can we can kill his powder kick with the Singular Will, but then we still die to the Gangplank attack. what a spot to be in. You need to deal more damage, Yasuo. Why don't you strike a little harder? Can't deal the 6 damage to a Gangplank. Okay, sure.
Trample him. Ah! Let me think. I rarely forget and never forgive.
I think we have to just go ahead and do this now. Pick an ally, Yasuo. I guess at least the perk to this is what do we still have here? We have 1 Mystic Shot, we got 2 Gotchas, still have the Will of Ionia, Spirit's Refuge. We have some ways to try to get back out of this. Oh, I forgot he's going to return to his hand and then just not be dead. That's awkward.
Have a mushroom. Have 3.
Explosives.
Alright, well, we should be dead.
Spread your
That's
fire.
unfortunate. He gave us a few extra turns there, but there's nothing we could do about that. We definitely made mistakes going after his Swain as opposed to his Gangplank.
Keep
I
moving
mean,
on.
it's debatable on which one you want to let flip. It's like you can at least interact with Gangplank, but you can't there's just so many ways for like the Swain to get damage into face that you just can't interact with him and he starts to become a real problem. But nonetheless, let's trade out this Scout Snapper for an Apprentice. The way these runs typically go is I end up trading out all of our Snappers and our Crush Bots for just other things, but the Apprentice is certainly an upgrade. We'll take him and move on. Sure. That looks like a reasonable start. Even more so. We did spend our beam as well. We spent beam on something that game. As you, yeah, you could see, like, it's like calling your shot right from the beginning, isn't it? You know, you say, we can't spend these beams on anything except Darius and Swain and Gangplank.
Nothing
And then
escapes my watch.
just lose to, lose to Gangplank Swain.
Look out for reavers.
I can't remember what we targeted, but we probably could have gotten around it a little bit more and just hung on to the beam.
If they're out there,
Sure.
I'll spot them. In Avarosa's name.
All right, we're gonna get a ton of mana here. Let's just go ahead and play this stupid card while we have a good open.
Sounds dangerous. I'm in.
Ready the torches.
Sure.
Can't stop me.
Alert the village.
Our ancestors are watching.
Okay. All right. This Ezreal's getting leveled. You got the most spells 2020 in hand here.
Charged.
Does it not count? Yeah, that weirds me out when you try to target. It doesn't count your opponent's nexus as an enemy. That's strange to me. As you can tell, we don't play a whole lot of Ezreal. ready to change that. It's okay, but
I just may have an answer.
I think we're good to just run out the claws.
Rain from
But
a
what
cloudless
more can we expect
sky.
out of this? I'm not gonna find a turn where we get to play play two spells. But I think I am
How
okay
can I
with this. Let's just go super wide here. Assuming he's gonna play like a 5/5 dragon or something here. The spell shield one's kind of awkward. We can deal with the White Flame Protector and the Challenger one. Sure.
One shot, all skill.
How bothersome.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That technique.
Are we at a point where we just start going face with these? Well, I mean, I guess we have to learn how the game works to where if we want to flip our Ezreal, we apparently can't just just go face with everything. But I guess we gotta take some time here, spend some spells on stuff. All right.
All right, let's mess some folks up. Here we go.
Charged.
Oh, they grow up so fast.
We'll get the block in here. We gotta
Remember
spend a lot of
the
cards for
fallen.
this stuff. Man, these dudes are big. Okay, we're getting nugged here.
You lack subtlety.
Firing.
All right, let's see how close this gets us. I'm gonna take 4.
No!
Just a matter of having time here now.
me out. It's not bragging if you could back it up. Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
All right. So hopefully we can survive this stuff.
With a little time,
Egghead
I'll have a
researchers make me feel pretty good about the
Have a
situation.
mushroom. Have 3.
All right, we're going face. We're on the face plane now. What else have we got to do here? That's just what we've done. The unfortunate things here, we're going to need a couple spells to pull this off.
I've never seen a specimen without
This is only going to do
before.
2 or 3 total, isn't it? That's so weird to me that
Firing!
I've always been a fun guy.
shooting the Nexus just doesn't count. That's such a strange idea to me. Alright, got him for a puff cap, so as long as our Ezreal can punch in next turn, then we're good. He does get shut down by all the frostbites though, which is kind of worrisome against this kind of Sejuani deck. I have to imagine if he had Sejuani, he would have hooked Ezreal a long time ago, but I mean, he's probably at the point where he should have been just preventing Mystic shots anyways, so we might be in a pretty reasonable open next turn.
Slow down, will you?
Follow the wind, but watch your back.
I suppose.
Okay.
No more running.
Riposte is awkward as if he has it, but we can still survive the rest of this combat. You'd need 2 cards to kill us with Riposte since we can still block this thing. Yeah.
A fallen leaf.
Oh, he's only going to get us for 10 here.
Time to get rowdy. Would a mushroom help?
Well, we don't even have to block that, do we? Just take 2. Oh, it has 1 mana, so it can only hit us for 1 more. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if this Ezreal's good enough.
Sounds dangerous. I'm in.
Oh, he's taking forever now. Oh, come on, guy. Sharp sight. God damn it. Ah, damn it. Well,
No way.
I mean, the way that this could still go is we're gonna. Oh, I was trying to see if we had any Mystic shots left. We don't. It's like the way this is gonna go is we'll just
Oh, if mushrooms could
deal two buff cap damage and then hit him with a Mystic shot. Where are we at? How many have we got in here? 6? That's doable. There's a non-zero chance we win this game next turn.
For the honor of my house.
Alright, that's not gonna do it. Damn. Too bad. Alrighty. Well, I still like the, kind of the idea that we had going on with this deck. It didn't come together. We didn't see enough Concussive Palms. But that is at least, kind of one of the ways that we can come in and approach this is, that's the way I've always felt that you have to kind of deal with these Ezreals. If you get in this spot like we did in that game where you're having to spend the entirety of your hand on your opponent's units and then you just get drained out, it's not enough. Like you really have to be either at least the way I was previously liked to run Ezreal is you have to either pair him up preferably with Freylord, where you have Frostbite Archer and you have Avrosian Marksman. Then you have the double targets with Harsh Winds, or you have to pair him up with Bilgewater, where you can use Make It Rains and Parlays to kind of complement your spells, because make it rain targets, so it can target up to 3 units. But the idea that we had here with this pairing with Ionia was that we were going to find Concussive Palms, so we would have another unit that can tick up our Ezreal, and then we were hoping to find a Noxus unit, so we could try to get stun spiders as another unit that can target with Ezreal. So that, we would have multiple cards that interact favorably both with Ezreal and with Yasuo. uh, and I guess we can point it out with Minah in the sense that Minah can target 3 units and it's 3 recalls. Those recalls count towards both champions. We didn't. I don't think we even saw a Yone in this run, which is kind of awkward. Like Yone getting 2 targets, and so I kind of like the idea here. It's just a lot of the tools didn't quite come together. We were a little short on card advantage. I don't like these puff cap peddlers. I don't like. I don't like a lot of these cards, to be honest. Like Puff Cat Peddler can go, the +1/+1 dude can go, and so if we get a chance to give this another try, I'm certainly willing to do it. It seems like we should have the tools here with this Disruption Yasuo to try to pull that off between the Palm, the Yone, and the Minah. Just didn't quite come together here, and so if we got another chance at this, I don't think the cards I'm wanting really showed up in this run, but we need a way to either to get some card advantage, so just some kind of way to draw cards, even if that's just like the Eminent Benefactor, just a way to grind down on our opponents a little bit more, and then we needed more targeted stuff because otherwise it seemed like our spells were kind of fine. We would always want more removal, but we did have what is this? 2 beams, 2 shots at 4, 3 gotchas at 7, 2 static shocks, which we can kind of just call 8 removals, like Trap Demon Populator at 9, Will of Ionia kind of counts as half a 1. So we call it, pretty close to 10 removal spells, which is good with these. It's a lot of targeted effects, but we just needed some more trade picks to try to kind of solidify what our game plans were. If we could say, pick up another Eager Apprentice, pick up another Unlicensed Innovation or 2, and then trade out things like Blade Scout, Scrap Dash Assembly, Flash Brilliance, Crush Bot, Clearing Kid Elder. Not happy with the Puff Cat Peddler plan here. There's just a lot of filler in this deck that needs swapped out before but kind of becomes a real deck. So I think there's potential here. We didn't really hit that potential on this run, but I think there's a lot that could happen positively here. Just we kind of fell short. Our deck was not quite good enough to pull off all of the grand plans that we had. But that's going to do it for the run. I do believe we have some rewards to click on here. Let's see how this pans out. 250 shards. I don't know what that. There's that. I think we ran into this last time. If that was just what you get for playing the expedition run. There's that. Click on the old home button. I know we had the weekly vault this week. Let's see how this plays out. Gotta get some champions. Guess you gotta upgrade these to diamond chests if you want to get your champions, right? Didn't get to play as much this week as in the previous 2. Okay. Extra copies of just everything. Right. Where are my champions at, Riot? Can't spend this 130,000 dust that we have. We gotta just naturally open the champions. I hope they put in some kind of dust sink into the game. Like I do kind of appreciate how easy it is to be free to play stuff, but I just wish there was something that we could do with it. Whether or not it's kind of like how Hearthstone approached it, to have like the 10,000 gold events with just this big ultra prizes, or you can buy cosmetics or something, whatever. I wish there was something to do with all of this extra dust that we have. But nonetheless, no more complaints today. That's going to do it for this run. I hope you all enjoyed the run. You learned a little something along the way and had a good time watching. This is Free to Play Bust. We thank you for being here.